Not only have we seen over 10 million people file for unemployment over the past 2 weeks, but now we've also been warned by both the U.S. Attorney General and President Trump that the next 2 weeks are going to be some of the saddest and hardest our nation's ever faced. I don't know about you, but boy, I could use some good news. In this week's video, we're going to be going over some updated coronavirus information, the wild price swings in oil, and also the updated unemployment numbers.
Last week, the market continued its slide downwards as the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ were both down around 2%, while the Dow Jones was down 2.7%. But as you can see here, the lagger last week, and as it has been all year, is the Russell 2000, which was actually down over 7% just last week. Now for the year, the Russell 2000, as you can see, down about 37% year to date, while the S&P 500 down about 23, the Dow Jones down around 26% for the year. Now, foreign and emerging markets were also down last week, with foreign markets down just about 4%, while emerging markets held up pretty well, relatively flat, down 0.6%. And now foreign and emerging markets are both down right around 26% for the year.
Tedeschi, Wealth Management Advisor over at Perspective Wealth Planning, with this week's market breakdown video. First, we want to take a look at the S&P 500. I have a weekly chart up here. We can see the important level that we held was the breakout level going back to 2016. Over the last 2 weeks, the market has been trading in a very tight range. We made a higher move here Monday morning, up about 3%. But what we're paying attention to moving forward is 2450, and on the upside 2640 for the next direction for the market. If we get a break above, we would expect to see a move higher, and if we get a break back below this level, we would expect a test of those lows. So that's what we're watching on the overall market. The other thing we wanted to talk about this morning was crude oil. Crude has put in a really nice bounce off of this 20-year support zone, going back to about 17 to 22 or so is that 20-year support. And over the last week, with the news that Matt covered in his portion of the video, we have seen oil push higher off of that and seeing it move all the way back up actually into almost the 30s. We're going to pay attention. There is resistance right here at 30. That would be the next important level for us to get back above for oil. But so far, a nice bounce there off of the news. Take care.
The first news story that I wanted to cover was the unemployment numbers from last week, and 6.6 million people filed for unemployment. Now, let's take a look back into 2008, during the last recession that we had, to try to put these numbers into perspective. So in 2008, it took 28 weeks to reach 10 million applications for unemployment. We've accomplished that in just 2. Also, the March job numbers came out, and the economy lost 700,000 jobs. Also last week, the March jobs numbers came out, and the economy lost 700,000 jobs. And now our unemployment rate is sitting at 4.4%. But we're still way off of the 2008 highs of 10% unemployment. The second news story that I wanted to cover was oil, as it surged 32% last week on the hopes that Saudi Arabia and Russia were close to negotiating a deal. But all parties want the United States involved, but it doesn't seem like President Trump seems too interested, as he's always said that OPEC is kind of like a cartel or a monopoly, and he also threatened to put tariffs on all foreign oil. Now, it is important to note that oil's down pre-market as I'm shooting this video, as the meeting between Saudi Arabia and Russia that was supposed to happen today is not actually going to happen until Thursday now. Next, I just wanted to give some updated information on the coronavirus. Currently here in the United States, we're sitting over 330,000 cases and just under 10,000 deaths. New York and New Jersey continue to be the hotbed for coronavirus, as they have almost half of the cases in the United States. One of the other areas of focus in the United States is Louisiana, as they have by far the highest death percent rate for the coronavirus, sitting right at 3.6%. And finally, some exciting news from Pitt School of Medicine. They've announced that they believe that they have a successful coronavirus vaccine. and they are petitioning the FDA to begin clinical trials within the next few months. The last news story that I wanted to cover was President Trump has invoked the Defense Production Act, seizing all N95 masks, making them for domestic use only during this health crisis. Thanks for watching, and make sure you follow us on Facebook and also subscribe to our YouTube channel.